This is going to be the toughest fight of his career.
Sharp, relax.
The most embarrassing fight of his career.
A chair across your face.
Yeah, I think he's about to cry.
I'm definitely up for fighting. There's a lot of names in the division, for sure. But at the same time, look at what this creates as well. I'm a fighter and I understand that economics of business as well. And this does good business.
Are you really going to do this? Absolutely. Are we going to do this? For a record payday? To go in and spark Jake Paul before we start the serious stuff in 2026? Don't tell me what we should and what we shouldn't be doing.
Anthony Joshua has issued Jake Paul a stark warning, and this goes beyond simple promotion. Paul may view this as his ultimate cash grab, but Joshua's circle is emphasizing just how dangerous this fight truly is. Eddie Hearn, Joshua's promoter, bluntly advised Paul to recognize the actual risks, suggesting that a single punch from AJ could produce catastrophic results. Furthermore, former boxer Moses Adama was equally direct, warning Paul that stepping into battle with Joshua could present real possibilities of harm.
And Anthony Joshua should not get in the way of Fury and Joshua, really, in my view. It's an absolute joke. It shouldn't be sanctioned. I really don't believe it should be sanctioned. I have a sneaking suspicion that it would be a very big fight. But the biggest thing is us rubbernecking to actually see if they do get to the point where they step in the ring together. Because Jake Paul's an area level fighter, a British area level fighter, and Anthony Joshua is still a killer and a live heavyweight. That should not be sanctioned anywhere in the world, in my view.
It's dangerous, mate.
Very dangerous.
It brings the sport into disrepute. The people that are talking about organising that, they should have a real hard look at themselves.
But even Eddie Hearn's kind of teasing he doesn't like it, but you can see the glitz of dollars.
There's no price. There is no price.
There shouldn't be.
There's absolutely no price
Agree
on
with
the
you.
planet in order to make that fight because it is dangerous.
Jake Paul challenging Anthony Joshua isn't just a risky decision. Numerous experts believe it's a genuine danger to his safety. Boxing commentators such as Ariel Helwani warned that Joshua's pure force and experience could expose him to severe damage, citing brutal knockouts as a real concern.
Has been beaten 3 times. The 4 fighters that he beat didn't come to win. So he's not in his prime, is he? He's literally at the end of his career, pretty much finished. And this is why taking this fight with you is telling you all you need to know. It's a cash out. You might as well just cream as much money as he can at the end of his career, fighting an absolute joke show in clown world. When I beat Anthony Joshua, he says, every doubt disappears. Come on. I mean, if this is a straight up AJ versus Jake Paul, then we all know what should happen. This is a 1-round job. Because AJ, even though he's past his best, even though he's seen better days, he throws a nice 1-2 down the middle. He's got a nice bit of distance, and fake Paul can't fight. He just can't. I don't care what anybody tells me. He can't fucking fight. He lost to Tommy Fury for crying out loud. You can't jump in with Anthony Joshua now and expect to get a result. So, like, nothing's going to no doubt's going to disappear. All that's going to happen is going to be the end of fake Paul.
Rising heavyweight Moses directly advised Paul to prioritize his health over the money, warning that a single misplaced punch could cause permanent damage. Meanwhile, former boxer Amir Khan bluntly said Joshua could damage him badly. Serious head trauma is possible.
Joshua sparked him out in like 2 rounds. Really? No, why do you look surprised when I don't.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
Come on, bro. You're fighting like one of the best heavyweight fighters in the world against a YouTuber. Like, come on. Like, respect the sport of boxing. And if AJ has to go in there and show these influencers that, listen, you can't fuck about with boxing. You know what I mean? Someone's going to get hurt badly, and this could be one of the first fights where a fighter gets hurt badly, because if you look at the size difference and the power difference, I mean, bro, there could be brain damages going on there. I mean, AJ could hurt him badly, you know.
When you look at Francis Ngannou, who's one of the most fearsome combat stars there is. I know it's MMA, but we saw what AJ did to Ngannou. So,
and that's why you don't look. You can't be surprised if AJ is going to do the same to what's it called again? Jake Paul.
For AJ, this fight isn't just about money. He's under significant pressure to win to preserve his reputation. Experts like Johnny Nelson believe Joshua is in a no-win situation. If he struggles or drags this fight out with Jake Paul, it could appear like he's behaving more like a businessman chasing profits than a true elite boxer.
I do believe it because AJ is involved, and I think AJ would struggle to. He's going to take enough flack over this, but again, it's money talk. So I think AJ will struggle because it's an all-win situation. If he goes in there, Jake Paul lasts the distance. What does he tell you about AJ? Apart from he's just earned an extra 15 million quid. If he goes there and struggles with Jake Paul, then what do you say about AJ? Your heydays are well and truly over. If he goes in there and knocks him out, then I'll say that's to be expected. So the glory, there's probably not much glory in it, apart from the haters of Jake Paul to say, right, I've got rid of this kid. I think it's very brave of Jake Paul. So now the problem child has got to believe this fight's actually happening. So now you've got our attention. So now you've got to back up the boast. It's not about, you're not playing tiddlywinks. This is the only game you can't play. You can play football, golf, tennis. You can't play boxing.
Nelson has provided a straightforward opinion on Jake Paul's status in boxing. He calls Paul a genius for how he's constructed his brand so effectively, but doesn't believe the idea that he's a world-class fighter. According to Nelson, Paul is a solid domestic-level boxer, but his paychecks rival a world champion's earnings, even though he hasn't paid his dues through conventional boxing routes. Nelson highlights that Paul didn't grow up in the gym or climb through the ranks like most professionals. He built his popularity online first. In his perspective, Paul has effectively monetized boxing, but when it comes to elite, high-skill competition, Nelson remains skeptical of his legitimacy.
To Daniel Dubois, he's going to be 35 years of age. It's crazy what I'm about to ask you, but can Jake Paul really beat Anthony Joshua?
All right, listen, I give all credit. Everyone knows that. They get mad at me that I gave too much credit to Paul. Why? He's done a hell of a job to put himself in this position. He sold himself. He sold his dream. He took his dream. He took his idea. And he put it out there, and he made it happen. Give him credit for that. And he made it happen. And he took risk along the way. Yeah, he picked his spots. He's in the driver's seat. He gets to pick his spots. He's the one bringing the money. He's the one promoting. Yeah, he's the name. He made himself that, coming from where he came from, with all his followers and the whole thing, and just the uniqueness of what he was doing. But he has learned along the way. He's not a top guy yet. No, I don't know that he ever will be. He didn't have that amateur background and the things that you usually need to be a top guy. But he has improved. He is a work in progress. He is a guy that you got to give him credit that he's respected the sport. He went out there, he's worked hard at it.
Former champion Carl Froch agrees with this perspective, arguing that a fight with Paul could hurt AJ's reputation, suggesting that he's no longer on track for Hall of Fame level greatness. At the same time, AJ has made clear he cares deeply about his long-term health, saying his legacy would be that I walked away healthy.
Bunsen burner's lit, like I've said. He's cashing out. And fair play to him, he's cashing out. But to what detriment to his legacy? A lot, really. Because if this is going to be his last fight, fighting this clown show, I mean, it's not ideal, is it? It's no ideal way to go out. But people would argue, well, he's just taking the money and running. So you can't really argue with that. So that's it for another episode of Froch on Fire. Now to get my opinion out there, because I know you've all been waiting for it. It's a shame, really. I'd like to see Anthony Joshua, actually, even though I don't believe he can do it. But when Eddie Hearn tells us that AJ is going to become a 3-time world champ, it'd be nice to see the rebuilding process and get back behind him. 1 or 2 easy fights and then go for a world title. And this could be one of the 2 easy fights. But I just think if you're going to jump in with fake Paul at this level, which is like I say, arguably a massive mismatch, it's no way to step towards or climb a ladder to get towards that world title. So this, for me, tells me that Anthony Joshua knows he's finished at any sort of elite level or world level. He won't be trying to go down the world title level anymore. This is just a cash out. So good luck to him, fair play to him, but hopefully when he's finished this fight, he'll be honest with us and say, listen, I've milked it, I've creamed it, I've had an unbelievable touch at the end of my career. I mean, he's already had an outrageous touch, hasn't he, with the involvement of Saudi Arabia, and now he's just creaming it at the end. He's got fake Paul, which is massive. Great for AJ, fair play to him. Anybody would do the same at the end of the career he's had. You know, he's He's not an elite heavyweight, is he? He's never going to come back and become a world champion again, in my...
However, Jake Paul is convinced he can beat Anthony Joshua, pointing to what he views as real vulnerabilities in Joshua's recent fights. On his podcast, Paul directly criticized Joshua, saying he doesn't have a chin, has no skill, and is stiff. He believes Joshua's recent knockout loss to Daniel Dubois exposed his declining durability, making this the perfect time to strike. According to Paul, his own unorthodox style, confidence, and momentum give him a real shot in what many would call a massive risk fight.
Why is Jake Paul doing this? Well, I think it's because he genuinely believes there is a chance he can win this. I think he's calculated everything about Anthony Joshua's circumstances and he's gone, yeah, I actually think I can do this. I can leapfrog so many years of having to build and go through the ranks and do all that stuff by beating a shop-worn Anthony Joshua. And what are the factors in Jake Paul believing this? Well, it would be firstly that AJ received a loss in his most recent fight. Anthony Joshua's not been in the ring since September 2024, so over a year by the time him and Jake Paul get in the ring together. It will have been around 15 months. It was the manner of Joshua's loss where he looked terrible. He looked like a fighter that was well past his best. His timing wasn't there. He even looked a little bit chinny, dare I say. I mean, I still think he's got a good chin. The shot he took from Dubois was absolutely massive and would have knocked down many heavyweights. And he showed decent powers of recovery to get up and struggle through for as long as he did before his over-aggression and miscalculation with the type of shots he was using got him knocked out by Dubois. But if you're deluded enough like Jake Paul, then perhaps you look at that and go, he landed a massive right hand on Joshua's chin. Why can't I do the same? I believe myself to be a very big puncher. And it's that old saying, isn't it? You know, you shoot for the stars, you might at least land on the moon. And I think that's kind of why Jake Paul's maybe got to where he is in life, because he does have too much self-confidence. He does believe in himself. Well, on this occasion, I believe to a fault.
Jake Paul says this fight is his opportunity to silence every critic who has constantly claimed he only picks smaller or washed-up opponents. He argues that by facing Anthony Joshua, a real heavyweight and former world champion, he's finally proving he can compete at the highest level. According to Paul, when he beats Joshua, every doubt disappears. No one can deny me.
Said, fight a real boxer. They said, fight someone your size. They said, fight a world champion. We looked at a long list of supposed fighters for me to fight.
Teddy Atlas has a cautiously intrigued take on the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight. While he warns that it might be a step too far for Paul, given the huge gap in class and experience, he doesn't dismiss the matchup outright. He points to Joshua's recent knockout loss and long layoff, suggesting that some ghosts in his closet could make him vulnerable. Despite acknowledging that Joshua remains the more skilled and powerful puncher, Atlas says he's willing to take that chance to see what version of AJ shows up.
Having said all of that, this might be a step too far. Now, when I say it, I'm also, I try to be responsible. I've been in this game 50 years, so I know where not to step, where you could twist an ankle, or worse, you could break a leg or fall down. When I say that with the understanding too that Joshua's coming off being knocked out. Joshua hasn't fought for a year, right? But it's about a year. And there's some ghost in his attic. There are. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's gotten rid of some of them, but I know that in the position of a fighter coming where he's coming from, there are ghosts in your attic. I don't know if those ghosts are still taking up space. I don't know if maybe there could be no better exorcism for those ghosts than fighting a Jake Paul. That might be just the exorcism you need to clear out the attic. I don't know. That's the problem. We don't know. That's the mystery part of this. That's what makes it so, it makes it two things at once. Intriguing and in some ways infuriating.
Atlas believes that Jake Paul will never be a top-tier boxer, even though he respects Paul's hustle and business sense. He said Paul is a work in progress. And while he admires that Paul didn't disrespect the sport and actually trained hard, Atlas doesn't see him reaching world-class status. According to Atlas, Paul has carved out a niche as a smart promoter. But when it comes to elite-level boxing, he's cautious. He thinks Paul can't go and just beat anyone.
That does it for this week's recaps and previews. I want to throw one more thing at you, and that's the news. It's been out there for about a month or so, and it's picking up more steam. Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. Now, Eddie Hearn came out this week most recently and said, I never thought I would say this, but right now the front runner for this fight is Jake Paul for Anthony Joshua's ring return. Joshua coming up almost on a year in September since his KO loss to Daniel Dubois. He's going to be 35 years of age. It's crazy what I'm about to ask you, but can Jake Paul really beat Anthony Joshua?
All right, listen, I give all credit. Everyone knows that. They get mad at me that I give too much credit to Paul. Why? He's done a hell of a job to put himself in this position. He sold himself. He sold his dream. He took his dream. He took his idea. And he put it out there, and he made it happen. Give him credit for that. And he made it happen. And he took risk along the way. Yeah, he picked his spots. He's in the driver's seat. He gets to pick his spots. He's the one bringing the money. He's the one promoting. Yeah, he's the name. He made himself that, coming from where he came from, with all his followers and the whole thing, and just the uniqueness of what he was doing. But he has learned along the way. He's not a top guy yet. No, I know that he ever will be. He didn't have that amateur background and the things that you usually need to be a top guy. But he has improved. He is a work in progress. He is a guy that you got to give him credit that he's respected the sport. He went out there, he's worked hard at it.
What's your take? Is Jake Paul playing with fire by taking on Anthony Joshua?